Seats 96.3 FM, streaming live on the web at WLCNonline.com. I'm Scott Kirby. Flying solo, well, I guess the past 2 games, I should say. The next game's coming up. Maybe the game will slow down a little bit for the Railers because you just saw two excellent football teams.
Absolutely.
You got Jacksonville.
Actually, I think they're state champions last year, and both of them, I think, have a real good chance of going back and winning it again. So
maybe the next few games, maybe the game comes to them a little bit, thinking, well, these guys aren't as good as a Rochester or Sacred Heart Griffin. We can compete, and we've competed all year long. Springfield High, even Eisenhower first half. Our problem is we get into the third, fourth quarter.
We have some kids back, but we have some kids that are back.
If we get full squad, Jacksonville's a beatable team this year. MacArthur, they're athletic. They're going to be good.
MacArthur will give us problems because they want to get the ball in space.
Right. But Lincoln has a little bit more motivation coming up. It's homecoming. And that kind of tends to get your blood flowing, pumping a little bit more. So maybe we can come out and sustain 4 quarters and compete, because for the seniors, it's going to be their last homecoming, and it just kind of kicks it up a notch. Who do we have left? MacArthur, Jacksonville. It's kind of winding down. And Lanphier. Only got 3 games left.
Flies by once it gets going.
Wow, it does. Man.
I love homecoming. I think homecoming is my favorite time of the year. And from a coach's standpoint, it should be the funnest time of the year for the kids. And then also from a coaching standpoint of view, you're like, gosh, do they get all caught up in the snake dance and the powder puff game and the bonfire and the king and queen,
right,
and they're not concentrating on football.
But maybe sometimes that's good, because maybe it kind of clears your head a little bit. Have a little bit of fun and then refocus. Let's finish this 3-game season. Let's finish the last 3 games strong. Let's go out with a bang. You can't live in the past. Those games are gone, done, and over with.
You're exactly right. Did you get scores from last night?
I didn't, but I know the SHG put a wallop on Chatham finally in the second half.
They put 63 points on Chatham.
Like 63-14. Wow. No, I don't know any other score. I was looking on the.
Yeah, I think they put 63 on Chatham. Yeah, and I think MacArthur. Jacksonville actually beat MacArthur.
Yeah, which MacArthur was up early.
We didn't like to see.
No,
we'd like to see MacArthur beat Jacksonville.
Well,
MacArthur's a good football team.
Right.
Jacksonville got out and stayed competitive with him. And what was the other score I saw? I didn't get them all.
Eisenhower and who'd they play? Probably Southeast or something like that.
I can't remember.
Or Lanphier. Well,
I've been busy. Haven't got a chance.
You can't ask me a question you don't know the answer to.
That's why I asked you the question. If I knew the answer, I'd make the statement.
That's true.
Are we on live television? Or here we go.
Hey,
look at that catch.
Look at that.
So let's run through the scoreboard for you.
Good thing we have Lloyd.
I'll tell you what, Lloyd. There's some bad things about Lloyd, but a lot of good things.
I don't know anything bad except for he's still.
Well, look how he's dressed.
He's got Phillies and Buccaneers on.
As Ozzy Osbourne said, he's on the road to nowhere.
Although he was happy last weekend, the Buccaneers beat the Steelers. Wow. That's a big win.
How did they pull that off?
Well, I had Steelers in my survivor pool.
Well, see ya.
Yeah. Gone. They're winning about $1,500.
So SHG 63-14 over Chatham. And there's our Jacksonville score, 26-19. They beat MacArthur, so that's at MacArthur, so that's a little scary for us. And then Lanphier got Eisenhower 21-16. Lanphier's a pretty good football team. And then the Rochester over Lincoln 50-0. And the Southeast Springfield High game is today at 1 o'clock, which should be a good ball game.
Yeah. And, just kind of Taylorville, in a different than the Apollo right now in the Central State 8 for the past several years. They were undefeated in the Apollo till last night, just to kind of give you guys a little background. They lost to Effingham last night for their first loss. So they moved conferences and kind of tearing it up over there. So
yes, Taylorville's a good football team. They're well coached.
They've always been solid in the Central State 8. But when you're going up against the Chathams and the SHGs,
you know what? We throw money around in here. iPhones, we just toss them around.
Toss them.
It doesn't matter.
No, I just throw it across the room.
I was kind of worried about Lloyd's hands, but he was right there.
He's on
like a pair of drumsticks. Yeah. He had them.
It's like Mike Schmidt at third base.
Mike Schmidt.
You know him.
I know. That was a nice one to pull out.
Yeah.
I was always envious of Mike's
That's
mustache.
the only one I could think of
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
Larry
real
Boa.
quick. Larry Boa. But yeah, so high school football season winding up.
Wrapping right
three
up,
games
isn't it?
left. So we got we only have one home game left, or we got the last. I know we're home this weekend.
No, we have 2 home games left.
2 home, and then
Homecoming and senior night.
we're at Jacksonville.
And then in between, we go to Jacksonville.
And
Nice
then-
little road game.
So the last game of the season's at home
Yes.
against Lanphier.
Yes.
Okay.
And to throw another one out there, crazy Joe Walters. I don't know if any of these fans remember Joe Walters, but he coached here for a couple of years. He's the head coach of Peoria Notre Dame, and they moved to 6-0.
Yeah.
He's got a great football team. Depending upon where Griffin goes, that's probably a matchup later on. I think if they go 5A, they may play each other, second or third round.
Yeah.
And I did see last night where Shaner won. He's trying to fight and get back in at Mount Vernon. They won.
They won.
But
what's his record now? I mean,
2-4, so
2.
he's got to win out. But his losses were all to good teams.
Wait, this was the year. I mean, he's been young the past couple years, and this is one of those years that he thought that they'd really turn around.
Well, he lost his safety and starting tailback in the first game of the season with an ACL injury. So he's been down a little bit, but he's got to win out to try to get in.
That's tough to do.
I know, yeah. It can be done, but he played all his tough schools up front, so
Yeah.
he's got to fight through it.
Well, hey, Joe, let's take a commercial break. We'll regroup, come back. We will talk some baseball, some playoff baseball, some NFL, some college football, and anything else that listeners want to tweet, because we don't have a phone line.
Oh, no phone line?
No phone line today. So if you want to tweet, our boy Lloyd Kirby's manning the camera and the Twitter account. It's
He's
at
multitasking.
WLCN Sports, and he's on it.
He's like a human smartphone.
He's our information. The information highway goes through Lloyd.
I like it.
He makes us look good or sound good.
Hey, look at him. He loves it when we praise
Yeah,
him, too.
So thanks, Lloyd. And it's all the last name too, Kirby. So yeah.
Now, how are you guys related?
I don't think we are.
Just checking.
I mean, we like the same kind of coffee.
I thought there was a little bit of nepotism going on
Gravy
here.
in a
That's why I
cup,
was
he
kinda
calls
checking.
it, because it's so. We
Both
play
drummers?
he's a drummer too. He just played. He had a little something going on last weekend or something, didn't you? And this weekend.
Both of you like losing baseball teams?
Yeah, well, we might be long lost brothers. So
Can we get a picture
We have
of you
a
two to
lot
put
in
up on
common.
the website?
we have a lot in common. So stay tuned. You're in the Cheap Seats 96.3 FM, streaming live on the web at WLCN.
Recycle, reused, you save.
Show love now. You know this.
No, I don't. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Where did you hear that music at?
It was on a TV show, a movie I saw.
What is it?
I can't remember, but it's pretty good. He's got gets the blood flowing.
Yeah, I saw you up.
Makes you want to
dancing
get up and
wiggling
dance.
around.
Yeah.
Thought you swallowed a bug or something.
No, not lately. Welcome back to Cheap Seats 96.3 FM, and we are streaming live on the web, Joe. So if you're in China, Japan, anywhere, you can listen to us.
Yeah, if you're up and can't sleep,
Yeah.
here we are.
Here we are. We are
Like
at
a
the
live version of Ambient.
Christian Village. I'd like to thank them for having us on today. We're up in their little library,
Library guest room.
doll-looking. Oh, ooh. But
Several
Yeah.
books over there.
yeah, if you want to read Lucado, Mia Lucado.
I can't read.
Got a grandfather clock, but yeah, a lot of sports going on today, Joe. We might as well go ahead and get it out of the way. Just throw it out there. Playoff baseball started up. Your Cardinals last night, all your guys' Cardinals, down 6-2 against the Dodgers in the 7th. It's looking pretty gleam. You got Kershaw on the mound.
Yeah.
Whenever he gets a 4-run,
Well, they jinxed him, right?
I don't know what they did, but if he's got 4 runs, if he gets 4 runs, his record is like 67-0. Some ungodly number, but Cardinals got to him in the 6th or the 7th, and man, they just came back, ended up winning. It was at 10-9. 10-9.
Yeah, I didn't see any of it, but
To take game one of it's only a 5-game series too. Is that correct?
so we took one out there. Gotta
Took
like
one
that.
out there. Yeah, you do have to like that, but man,
Played 9:30 tonight. Is that right?
I don't know. You're the Cardinal fan.
8:30.
8:30 Central.
Smoking hot out there right now. Don't they have something going on? The earth has changed. It's smoking hot. 100-degree weather out there right now.
That's your story.
100-degree. They have extremely hot weather, and they have closed some beaches because they've had some shark bites. It's a crazy world going on out there in California.
Yeah, no doubt.
Nothing crazy about the Cardinals winning, though.
No, it's not, and yeah, it's not. But let's see some other scores. The Baltimore Orioles beat Detroit 7-6.
So now the Orioles have went out there and stolen 2 in Detroit. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
You gotta like
How
that.
about them Kansas City Royals?
Royals.
Taking it to the Angels.
Yeah, I thought-
They're up 2-0 on that. They lead that 2-0, and it's going to Kansas City.
I'm saying they've done the same thing. They've went out and stolen 2 games.
2 games. They got to win. You win 1 out of 3. You win a series. You're advancing.
Well, I'll tell you what, Las Vegas casinos, they've loved that.
Boy.
Because everybody goes out there and gets on the favorites, and
Yeah.
the dogs have came out and beat 2 teams at home.
Yep. San Francisco, they beat Washington 3-2. They're up 1-0. Baltimore up 2-0 and did against Detroit. And wow, and then going back to Baltimore.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You don't see where are the Yankees at? Where are the Boston Red Sox at?
It's just the stellar teams that always stick around are the Cardinals. I mean, you don't have to ask where they're at. They're on a plane going
they're
to a
in
ball
there
game.
because
You know what I mean?
they're in probably the weakest division in baseball.
Oh, here we go. You're in that division.
I know, and I'm telling you, when you're 25 games below 500
They
or whatever
did
it
win
is.
last night.
Who?
The Cardinals. How can you say they're a weak division?
I said they're in the weakest division in
No.
baseball. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I wouldn't agree.
No. Well, you never do.
You think it is?
That's what makes this show. We never agree on anything.
We're not related like you and Lloyd.
I know.
It's okay to disagree because we're not going to share any Thanksgiving turkey.
No, we're not.
Unless I get invited over there by your
You're-
mother-in-law, and
you're
she may
always
invite me
invited.
over.
You're always
You
invited.
don't know. And what do you have times over there? You got that handy little computer thing going.
I don't
You got
have-
times over there. I know the Cardinals at 8:30 tonight. College football action all day long and baseball strung in there. It's a good time to be home watching sports.
Yeah. Let's see. San Francisco at Washington at 5:37. That's Eastern, so 4:37. And then St. Louis at LA at 8:37. Is that what you want to know?
Yeah. Then they're going to play. They're going to have baseball games tomorrow during the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, what will you do tomorrow night? Sunday night football.
I'll be
Major
watching
League
football.
Baseball.
It's football
Yeah,
season.
I agree. I do agree. Even if the Cardinals are in, it's football season.
Yeah, and it's the first day, Sunday, that I can actually sit around and watch football because I'm not reffing and all that other nonsense.
How'd that reffing go? You get any trouble over there? Anybody
Oh,
chew
yeah.
on you?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
fans, they scream at you. You
Oh,
miss
yeah.
a few calls.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
It's easy money, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fun, It's funny how some people don't know rules of football.
I was just going to say the best fan is an uninformed fan.
Oh, it's great because you're just sitting there thinking to yourself, man, you're an idiot. You don't even know.
They saw it on TV.
Yeah, and it's hard to do. It's really hard to do. People think that, one sport that I refuse to referee and I will never do it is basketball.
Yeah, they're right there on you.
Right there on top of you. Football, at least you're out in an open field, but there's just so much to football. Obviously your first instinct is to watch where the ball goes, but as a referee, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to try to watch the front of the play, watch the back of the play. It's really tough to do, and for people that want to yell at referees, quit.
Hey, especially if there's only 2 of you. Did you have 2 or 3?
We had 3.
Yeah, that's still difficult with 3.
Yeah, because you got to cover both line judges. You usually have 2 line judges. A guy behind the offense, a guy behind the defense, and then a deep guy. Usually have 5 refs, so you can see the whole field.
Mm-hmm.
But when you only have 3, you got to try to break it up and the field up in thirds, and it's tough. But
And face it, there's a lot going on out there.
there is a lot going on, and
In a big, wide open space.
And for people to, and others, most people are focused on the running back, where they're going to see, oh, he got held.
Watching the play. Yeah.
Watching the play, whereas a referee, you have to watch the entire field. You have to scan. Well, you might scan one part of the field. Well, there's a hold right there that you miss. It's tough to do, and I'm still learning, but yeah, it's fun.
Absolutely. It is fun, and boy, the fans can get on you in a second because they can see everything.
Especially when you're refereeing a home event and they know you by name. I love it.
I had a wise official one time that was doing a baseball game and called a third strike, and somebody yelled at him, "Whoa, that looked like a strike from here." And he turned around and yelled right back at him and said, "Well, that's why they put me right down here behind it, so I can see if it is."
Yeah. And I work with the crew out of Clinton, and they're probably, they do a lot of games. They do high school, and they do all kinds of games, and just trying to learn from them because I don't know all the, it takes a while to get, there's stuff, like, did you know this, attentional grounding in high school? Did you know it doesn't matter? I just learned this. I thought as long as you're outside the tackles or the hash marks and you throw it away. No, if you throw it away and there's no receiver anywhere, it doesn't matter where you're at. It's intentional grounding.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was because I base a lot of my, off NFL or college. If you're outside the tackles, you can throw it away. Not in high school. If you throw it away, it's a 5-yard penalty from where you threw the ball. So if you drop back 10 yards, throw it away, that's a 5-yard penalty from where you threw it plus loss of down.
And loss of down. Now that hurts.
So there is so much to football, and you guys watch. Obviously, these guys get paid a lot of money on Sundays to referee an NFL game. Man, there's a lot to it.
Well, being out there, and from running up and down sidelines, you're constantly on the sidelines. You're trying to yell stuff as a coach, and I'm a guy that's creeping out all the time. You just can't help it because you're trying to creep out and make sure they can hear you, and they're on the other side of the field, and this, that. And out of all these times where, everything's breaking loose and going different directions, I've managed to stay out of the way of the officials, except for one time. And one time, I turned and he was flying at me, and we both saw each other, and we both moved the same direction and ran into each other. And I happened to be just a little bit bigger than him and overweight, and it knocked him down, and he was mad.
Throw a flag?
He got up and threw flags at me and was mad at me. And I apologized later on. It was like, you threw a move at me. I couldn't get out of the way. Didn't know you had that in you. And he kind of started laughing. Yeah. But at the time, boy, was he mad.
Well, yeah, you got to be in that coach's box.
You do. I understand where it's coming from.
But
it was a turnover and the ball going the other direction.
In the game, you get out there, and I understand. But it's tough. How did we just go from baseball to that?
I don't know. You know what it's called? I think is probably low ACT scores, and then you just cyber jump somewhere.
Yeah. I like it though.
I'm sure it's been entertaining to most people.
I like that transition.
Have finally pulled into a gas station and they can get out.
Yeah. I tell you, how about the Oregon Ducks getting knocked off by Arizona?
They choke every year.
The number 2 team in the nation at home.
Yep.
Lose to Arizona Wildcats.
And Arizona, I think, is an underrated team. But by the same token, Oregon every year we have big talk for them. That's my gal's favorite team, and so I pay attention to them and watch them. And they always have new unis going on and the flashy helmets because they get a bunch of money from
Nike.
And then all of a sudden they have done it every year. They choke. They can't make it to the national championship game, and they just started giving what's his name accolades that he's going to be a Heisman candidate, and then he chokes the quarterback, and boy, is he athletic.
See, that's the thing with Oregon. They're very athletic, but they're small up front. They want those linemen.
They're all about speed.
But when you come up to a smash-mouth, hard-nosed football team that's going to manhandle you, sometimes they say speed kills, but other times, physicalness, big guys kill too.
Absolutely,
it's hard to be fast when you're on your back.
That's right, and it carries over like into the game last night. Is a good point. Is that physically those guys up front for Rochester, that they control the line of scrimmage, and I've always try to tell our kids we have to play defensively. We have to play a yard deep in their backfield, and offensively we have to play a yard deep on the defense. You have to get off the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. And last night, we can't run nothing will work on offense because they are shoving us back a yard deep, and now all of our timing's off. Every time we're going to give a handoff, we have to take it and kind of go backwards to get around the penetration, and that just gives everybody else more angles to come get us. And it's a big deal up there. If you get stuck playing a yard deep in your backfield on offense, you're not going to do anything. No, because they've controlled the line of scrimmage. But you're absolutely right. Arizona's a big, strong school that controlled the line of scrimmage.
Yep. And look what it did. Number 2 goes down.
Well, and that'll bring us back to the best team in football, in college football, is the Sooners.
Sooners, boy, they look pretty good.
I think they're the best team. Lloyd, what do you think? Hey,
Lloyd gives a thumbs up from Oklahoma. It's all good. Averaging 594 yards a game. That's Alabama. Alabama. That's kind of a change there. They're not used to putting that kind of numbers up. They've always been defense and managing. And
Eddie Lacy finally got going.
Yeah. Well, we'll go to the NFL later. Right. We're confusing people here. Let's stick with some college.
I think there's a lot of people just pulled over on the side of the road to listen to us.
Yeah. I'm sure they did.
They're trying to find a different knob on that radio.
I don't know about that. But some big games going on today, Joe. Who's Illinois have today?
Illinois jump. They're at home, right? Purdue?
Yeah, they do have Purdue. And a lot of they're favored to win that game, I believe.
Purdue's a Big Ten school I think Illinois might be able to play with. There's some of those schools that I'm not sure they can that are Big Ten, but Purdue, they're struggling a little bit. They're kind of in the same phase of turning people over and trying to build a program as we are. So, being at home, Illinois got a shot today. I think Lunt's healthy and he's back.
Yeah, he's cleared to play. He didn't play last week against Nebraska. Just kind of talking about Rochester. Wes Lunt, obviously, Rochester went to Oklahoma State for a year and then transferred to Illinois. Set out last year, so he's got, after this year, he still has 2 years eligibility.
He's fun to watch. If you haven't watched him play, he's a good kid. He's fun to watch, and they just keep coming. The kid that started for Rochester last night, that Danny Ziegler, he's a junior, 6'4". He did a great job last night of running the ball game. Another kid that can stand around back there and see everything and toss the ball around. Right. Threw some good balls.
Some other noteworthy games today. They have number 1 Alabama at number 11 Mississippi. Number 2 Florida State hosting Wake Forest. I'd love to see Wake Forest go in there and beat Florida State.
Yeah, I got a hard time rooting for for Florida State.
Yeah, there's just too much off-field nonsense going on there.
I do not want to see those guys get in some big bowl game and go. It's all changed right this year on that.
Yeah, it's a playoff this year.
Yeah,
Top 4 teams.
I don't want to see them get in that.
No. Here's an interesting game here. Number 13 Stanford at number 8 Notre Dame.
Oh, that's a great game.
That's going to be a good one.
What time's that game?
That game, Joe, is at 2:30. And it is on NBC, obviously, because it's Notre Dame.
The Irish.
Number 16 Wisconsin at Northwestern. Let's see any other. Number 15 LSU at number 5 Auburn.
Yeah, LSU Auburn's a great game. Those two schools don't like each other.
No.
And you talk about athletes. That field will be loaded with athletes.
Oh, yeah. Any other good games? Not really. Nebraska at Michigan State.
A good game.
Yeah. That's about it.
Then you can turn over and watch some baseball.
No. Turn on DIY or something. Learn how to fix something. Well, hey, let's take a commercial break. It's about 20 to 10. We'll come back. We'll talk some NFL. And
we know you want to call, but you can't in case you had tuned in late.
You can tweet. At WLCN Sports. At tweet. I don't know how you set that up or even how to find that, but.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, so stay tuned. You're in the Cheap Seats 96.3 FM, streaming live on the web.
All my friends, yellow rider.
Welcome back to the Cheap Seats. Joe, I want to know, you're walking around your house on let's say a Saturday afternoon. Does that Mission Mart jingle just go through your head? That's got to be your favorite jingle.
It is.
That thing comes on, your eyes light up.
It's good.
It is good.
I love it.
Yeah.
I like to shop the Mission Mart way.
That's right.
No, man.
It's
Whoever
Mission
made that
Smart.
up was underpaid.
We're gonna throw something out here right now to win a free large pizza from Stufferia. For all you tweeters out there, if you can tweet us,
Not sure that came out right.
all you tweeters
And other drug abusers.
tweeters. That's what you call them, don't you? People that tweet,
I guess you
they're
do.
tweeters.
Tweakers, maybe that's what you call them. The druggers.
Tweeters. Bears, Panthers tomorrow. Tweet at WLCN Sports what you think the score will be, and the person closest will win that pizza. And Lloyd, his phone's going to be blowing up all weekend.
Lloyd,
Sorry,
he
Lloyd.
just plugged it in. He's getting a battery.
I never even thought about that. But Lloyd's our Twitter guy, and he'll keep it updated. You have all the way up until kickoff to. You can tell, can't you? You know when to cut it off. Lloyd knows how to do all that. I don't even know why I question. But if you can tweet us what you think the score will be, since we don't have any phone lines today, we're going to give you a large pizza from Stufferia. Pick that up we'll have it up at Jake's for you. And, all you got to do is send a tweet. Is that what you're doing right now?
I just sent one to myself to see if it would work.
You tweeted yourself. That's not
I
cool.
don't tweet.
I think I
don't
did
even
that
know
when
how
I
it
first
works.
did it years ago. I set up a Twitter account, and I tweeted myself, and my kids, they didn't like that.
Well, it's because you're embarrassing.
You can't do
them, Dad.
that. What are you tweeting yourself? Because
I'm staying out of that mix.
Yeah.
I'm staying right in the 70s.
we'll leave
where
it
I
to the
belong.
brains of the operation, and that's Mr. Lloyd Kirby. So,
Dr. Lloyd Kirby.
Dr. Lloyd Kirby? That sounds good.
Why wouldn't he be?
He looks like a doctor.
It sounds like a doctor's name.
Does it?
Dr. Lloyd Kirby?
Dr.
That sounds good.
Dr. Lloyd Kirby to the emergency room, please. Some other. Let's
Performing
just
a lobotomy?
yeah, NFL. Going
NFL.
strong. We're
The NFL.
into week 5 right now. The Bears are 2-2.
We should start giving an upset of the week pick, you know what I mean, or something.
We should.
Just to entertain the fans even more than they possibly are now.
Upset of the week. Well, let's take a little peek of upset of the week.
Are your Jacksonville Jaguars going to get on the board and upset the Steelers?
No. Pittsburgh should have won. No offense, Lloyd. They should have beat Tampa Bay. They're going to come back fired up, ready to go. They'll beat Jacksonville by at least 10. How you like that?
I'm going to give you your upset of the week.
What is our upset of the week?
Tommy Brady and the New England Patriots. They're going to beat up the Cincinnati Bengals.
You think so?
Yeah. Everybody's down on Tommy Brady. Not to be confused
not
with
really-
Mike Brady.
I'm not doubting Tom
Or Peter
Brady.
Or Bill Brady. Because we've had some confusion here at the station.
Yeah, we have.
This cat's name is Tom Brady, and he plays NFL football.
He's not a politician yet.
He didn't marry a gal with 3 girls. This guy's a quarterback.
with hair of gold.
Yeah. Why don't you sing that song real quick for the fans? Do it. Come on. Do it.
I don't know that I could.
Oh, quit. I know you can sing it.
Yeah.
Sing it. Get it started.
So your upset of the week, you think Cincinnati, or you think New England's going to beat Cincinnati?
yeah.
That just outright?
Yeah, they will just beat them outright.
Just beat them outright.
You don't have one.
I don't. But I'll look. Let's see. Who's
Your game of the week is at 3 o'clock with America's team playing the Denver Broncos.
the
At
Cardinals?
Denver.
Cardinals 4-0. Denver
They're 3-0.
Oh, that's right. They were off last week.
They had a bye. You know, it'd be a big test for them to go out there and see how well they can play. I don't
Is
know
that
if they
at
can win the
That's
game.
at Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah, that Denver's going to win that. Sorry,
Yeah.
bud. You just
Sorry, bud.
Is Palmer back?
No.
Okay, yeah, that's
He may not be back, really. They're talking
Yeah.
about nerve damage and all kinds of stuff. So
that would probably do it for him.
I like what Bruce Arians said, though. He said, I'm not asking him to go out there and do anything spectacular. Just go out and be competitive. Keep us in the game. That's all you got
You
to
know
do.
what? I really like Bruce Arians.
I do, too. I think he does a great job.
When he came over from Indy, and a lot of people thought that, he stepped in and filled in for Pagano. Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, that team didn't really skip a beat. And that was just a matter of time before he got a head coaching job. And I really like that guy. He does a good job.
Yeah, Mr. Magoo. I thought he was maybe a little too old to get there, but
No.
he's done a great job. They seem to like him. Cardinals are playing well. They've got a bunch of injuries and people out, and they're still competitive.
Yeah.
That's why they're America's team.
All right, so let's go through here. Who do you have, Chicago or Carolina?
The Panthers aren't playing real well right now, but they are at home. Chicago can put some points up. I think the Bears.
The Bears?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm with you there. I think the Bears will bounce back after getting shellacked against Green Bay, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Yeah, I'll take Chicago. We got Buffalo at Detroit.
Well, I think Detroit's. I think they're coming around, and they have a lot of weapons, and they're at home in that dome. I think they take down Buffalo.
Well, I'm agreeing with you there too, Detroit. But with Detroit, it's just a matter of time before they shoot themselves in the foot. They always find a way to fall apart. So right now, I'm sticking with Detroit and those big guns over there. Baltimore at Indy.
That's a tough game. The Ravens are playing. The Ravens are playing real well right now, and without their superstar that's went into kickboxing or whatever in the elevator, they're playing well for the loss of him and all they've went through. And I love Flacco, but the Colts at home. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'm going to take the Ravens. I think the Ravens can beat the Colts at home.
Well, I'm glad you did that because I'm taking the Colts.
Yeah, that's right.
We got Andrew Luck at home. The guy is just phenomenal. I love Andrew
You're
Luck.
probably right,
but just for
but you're not right very often.
yeah,
So I'm going to
so
let you
let's just
have it.
keep it that way.
Yep, that's right.
We got Pittsburgh at Jacksonville.
As you look at this game, the Jaguars are definitely the worst team in football. Let's load up on Pittsburgh. They will win that game.
I got Pittsburgh by at least 10. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. That's an interesting game right there.
Yeah, why have the Saints
both
struggled
1
so
and
much?
3. Their defense is not where they thought it would be. They've got all kinds of weapons on offense. They always have at least 3 running backs.
Let's go live to the remote, our Tampa Bay spokesman, and see what he says. Lloyd, can Tampa Bay win this game?
Lloyd
He
has
gives us
a
the
thumbs
thumbs
up
up.
for Tampa Bay at New Orleans.
Would you consider that an upset? And so that's your upset special of the week? This
Upset
your
special. Upset special. Tampa Bay
Well-
over New Orleans.
Jim, do we drug test here at the studio?
Here's a cup.
I don't think they can win that game, Lloyd, but I'm for you. No, I'm going to have to take the Saints.
Yeah. Taking Saints at home. You're just waiting for that offense to click. And
I don't know why they aren't scoring points and winning games.
I don't know. Maybe Drew Brees and Tom Brady are on their way out.
Could be.
Maybe it's not like it was 5-6 years ago.
Things change, don't they?
People get older.
Look at the weight we've put on.
I know. Atlanta Falcons at New York Giants.
I think this is another great game.
Yeah.
You know what?
A couple weeks ago, I would say definitely Atlanta, but the way New York's been playing lately,
Yeah, you know what? I got to say New York. They're at home. Eli's back. There's something about, Tom Coughlin seems to get those guys going. He's an amazing coach, I think. He'll go through the beatings, and he's in New York, and they tear him up.
he's been on the hot
He just
seat for
fights
like
it and fights it and
every
fights it.
year.
I'm going to take the Giants, the G-Men.
Yeah, I like the G-men too. Man, why are we agreing? It's not good.
We'll
It's not
disagree
good
here
for
a little
radio.
bit.
We got the St. Louis Rams at Philly.
Yeah, that's all Eagles.
Yeah.
The Rams, they're going to start Davis, I believe, at quarterback, and
The third stringer.
they just have too many things going wrong. But I will tell you that the Eagles now are scoring a bunch of points and can't stop anyone. So, except the problem is the Rams can't score, I don't think. So that's all Eagles.
Yeah, I agree. All Eagles. The Cleveland Browns at Tennessee Titans.
This game's
Browns coming off a bye week.
yeah, and they came out kind of hot and playing well. Who'd they upset in week 1? They upset Pittsburgh or somebody in week
Yeah.
1. I don't know about that game. I like the Titans because I want to root for my ex-head coach out there from the Big Red. But yeah, I'm going to take the Titans at home.
Titans. I'm going to take the Browns. Coming off a bye week.
Bye weeks help.
Yeah, give a little week rest. So I'm going Browns. You're going Titans. Let's go your boys, the Arizona Cardinals.
3:05 game.
At Denver.
You guys don't want to miss that. Make sure you got your yard work done.
And it is on Fox. You got Joe Buck, Troy Aikman.
And Aaron Andrews. How can you beat that?
I'll be watching.
You guys maybe even need to record this game. This absolutely, America's team's going to win this, the Big Red. Big Red, they're going to blitz. We're not afraid to bring 9 guys up in Peyton's face. And I know he's going to dump those short passes. I'm worried about the long ones, and we got 2 great corners out there. You know what? America's team's going to beat them.
No, Denver's winning this one. Demaryius Thomas going to have a huge day. Welker's going to sneak in there. He's going to have about 8 or 9 catches for about 120 yards. Going to keep him true inside. Demaryius is going to beat you on the ends.
Okay. You know what? I like the Broncos, and how can you ever say Peyton Manning's not going to win?
I know, especially against the Cardinals.
But they are playing the Big Red.
They are. Well, how about the Jets at San Diego?
I think these Chargers are a playoff team. I think Rivers makes things happen, and I'm not a Rivers fan, but he does play well, throws the ball well. The Jets, I don't know. What is wrong with the Jets?
What is
I'm all
wrong
over
with the
the
Jets?
Chargers beat the Jets.
The Jets year in or out, they come in, they're supposed to be, revamped, ready to play.
Always something new going on.
Ryan, he's got them ready to go, and then, they just fall apart.
Yeah, that's all. The Chargers, baby.
They bring in, they try to make these big signings all the time, like a Chris Johnson, and bring him over and think he's going to revitalize his career. He hasn't done diddly.
I keep waiting for Vic.
Some people say Vic's going to probably be your starting quarterback after maybe this week or next. But do you do that to a young Geno Smith who's, you threw him to the Wolves, and he's not a bad quarterback. I mean, he's good on his feet. Can't really throw the ball, but I don't know.
If you had Vic on your team, why wouldn't you try to use him at something? With
they
the
brought
athleticism and speed, why don't you put him tailback and pitch the ball to him?
They'll bring him in for a wrinkle. They'll run some wildcat with him a little bit. He'll get maybe 3 or 4 plays a game. But, Vic, he's just, I don't know. He's old. He's still fast.
He's old.
But, you got to try to start building your team. And you're not going to rebuild it around Vic.
That's all Chargers.
Yeah.
It's hot out there in San Diego.
Kansas City coming off a big win against New England last week. San Francisco.
Well, I got to tell you.
You better tell me real quick because we only got 2 minutes.
I think the only way I would root for San Francisco is if they were in a game against ISIS. I can't stand San Francisco and Kaepernick and all
political
now. I'm all over the Chiefs. Go Chiefs.
Yeah, I'll take the Chiefs too. I don't want to see the Niners do anything. Bengals at New England. You like New England?
That's your upset of the week. You heard it here first.
Okay.
Tommy Brady back on track.
I'm going to take the Bengals because I saw New England the other night. Their defense, they can't stop anybody. I thought the Bears' defense was bad. No, this defense is worse.
They are bad. That's all right.
Okay. We got the Seahawks at the Redskins.
Wow.
That's an intriguing game because the Seahawks they don't play well on the road. And they're going to be across country, and they're not going to have their 12th man.
What do you mean they don't play well on the road?
They don't.
They just won the Super Bowl.
During regular season.
All right. They lost 1 game this year, which is surprising.
Right, and they've won 2 at home.
And I love Kirk Cousins. I think.
Did you love him last week?
I do love him. You know what the deal is with him? As these NFL guys, they'll tell you the problem with guys like him is that once these NFL scouts have seen him play 2 or 3 times and they've watched him throw the ball 100 times. They scout everything. They know his tendencies. They know where he looks. They know what he does. They know what he does in situations. And now he has to better himself because they're all on to him. I think he's a competitor. I like him, but I can't see the Redskins beating the Seahawks.
I can't either.
Even on the road, even if they had to come and play Lincoln.
I had to throw that out there. Yeah, that's all Seattle.
I'm glad you threw it out there. And how about this one?
Oh, I forgot about that one. It's just the Cowboys and the Texans.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of fun for people who live in Texas, and the Cowboys somehow are 3-1, and so are the Texans.
They've been looking good, but flip a coin on that one. Who do you want?
I'll take the Cowboys at home.
Then I'll take Texans.
All right, you can have them.
Well, that's going to
There you
do it
go.
for us. I hope you guys, you might as well go ahead and throw some money out there. I mean, we just gave you who we think we're going to win, so why not?
Yeah, I think we've solved a lot of your problems.
Yep. So
today.
yes, we have. So if you want to win,
I know that Lloyd has been writing all of our picks down, so that
do we have any tweets yet? We have
Was it-
100.
was it from us?
No, we have 100 tweets. 100.
there's
tweets.
over 100 of them, Lloyd.
Yes.
Wow, how are you keeping up with it?
Man,
Plug your phone in.
his phone is on fire. It's smoking. All right, well, that's going to do it for us. Next week we're at Jake's, with or without Jake. We're there.
Yeah, we'll just do it anyway.
And we're gonna have some good furniture deals going on, guaranteed.
You think so?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'll be lucky if we can find Jake there. We'll probably be locked out of the building.
yeah.
Hope you're listening, Jake.
Jake, we're at your place, Jake. So thanks for tuning in. Scott Kirby, Joe Ryan. We are at Christian Village. We'd like to thank Hampton Inn for coffee, pastries, bagels, all the good stuff, and
All the good stuff that
All the
keeps
good
us
stuff.
slim and trim.
yeah. So thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week at Jake's Furnishings. This has been the Cheap Seats on 96.3 FM, streaming live on the web, WLCNonline.com.
Good day.